22 past the hour. JT Sky Blue Radio sounds absolutely great at any altitude. I got Serge, the founder of the Pilot Club. Make sure you check in them out, thepilotclub.org. Serge, can you hear me, my man?
Yes, sir. Can you hear me?
Oh, man, that is so much better. More
Absolutely.
better.
You know, this whole time I heard a 2-second delay in the headphones when I was speaking, so it was kind of messed up my cadence a little bit, but I'm glad we figured this out. And again, thank you for having me.
Yeah, I'm really sorry about that. I don't know what, we did that little warm-up station test kind of thing, and sometimes with technology it just goes in the dump sometimes. So I apologize for that. But let's go ahead and start. Let's start over, folks. Okay. I have Serge here. He's the founder of the Pilot Club. Check them out. Thepilotclub.org. Sky Blue Radio is a partner with these guys, and they have an incredible time with these guys. Every Thursday night is the Sky Blue Radio night with the Pilot Club. But the cool thing is that the Pilot Club isn't just one night a week. It's a 7-day-a-week thing. So, Serge, talk to me.
Yeah, absolutely. So, our main goal is to keep the members engaged, and as I said earlier, is really to provide a friendly and engaging community and place for folks who are passionate about aviation and flight sim to hang out and do things together, do flights together. We do social events as well, right? Some of our events are trivia night, where we have some aviation questions and prizes and all kinds of cool things, and it's more of a social event. But we have a town hall where we talk about the things that we've done, the things that we want to do in the club, and what kind of community we want to build. So we do engage our members in that as well. Yeah. But as far as flights itself, and really that is our core function, right, is to fly together. We found that it's more fun to fly together. You connect with people, you make friendships, you are able to share information and share knowledge and kind of help each other. Obviously, with this flight simulation, there's always all kinds of things you got to tweak and technical issues and things. So our members are helpful to each other, and they answer questions. And then, as far as aviation stuff itself, I mean, we have many real-world pilots that are able to provide their knowledge to other members, and that's awesome. But let me get back a little bit to the actual core function of our club is flying the group flights. So on Mondays we have kind of a open day where folks can join and kind of talk to each other and decide, hey, let's fly to whatever location. Yeah. And they get together, they load in, right, and then they fly together and they chat in voice chat and Discord. That's where all our magic really happens in the club. We do have the website presence, obviously, but the Discord is where all the engagement happens.
Yeah, it's the same with us.
Yeah, right. It's a great platform to connect, and we have the structure with channels and voice channels, text channels, all those types of things, and threads. And then on Tuesday is our GA Tuesday, our General Aviation Tuesday, and that program is led by Paul for us. He has been doing a fantastic job, absolutely fantastic job, bringing the joy of general aviation to otherwise mostly airliners kind of saturated field. As you know, on VATSIM, majority of the folks like to fly airliners. The GA maybe is not as present as we'd like it to be. So Paul has been doing a great job on Tuesdays, taking the club to different destinations. And if I could show you, and I hope folks would go to the website and check it out on our dispatch page, the type of flight plans that the flight operations team led by Paul comes up with. It is fantastic, right? It gives folks really a chance every week to explore new areas. The flight plans are very realistic, so we do strive to bring sort of I want to say it's a balance. We don't want to go, obviously we're not flying in real life and everything that comes with that, But at the same time, we do want to make it as real as possible within the confines of the flight simulation community. So that's on Tuesdays. Then Wednesdays are kind of a free day. Sometimes we have our trivia nights. Sometimes we have our town hall. Sometimes we have webinars. So we are actually partners with FSA, which is the Flight Simulation Association.
Good people.
Awesome people there,
yeah.
Right?
They're not as cool as us, but you know.
Oh, no doubt. You guys are number one.
Just kidding.
But they do have some educational webinars that we can bring to our members via the syndicate streams. So we do those types of things on Wednesdays sometimes. Then, of course, you already mentioned the Fly-In Thursday. I got to be honest with you. I think this has become one of our biggest and most popular flights in the club. And I think
Thursdays?
Fly-In Thursday.
Oh, okay.
Right?
Yeah.
And I think it's obviously part because you guys sponsor that and provide the entertainment en route and those types of things. But it's also the format. It's really open. All you have is the destination field, and then the routing and departure field is at pilot's discretion.
Mm-hmm.
And if you look at VATSIM map, it's interesting to look at these flights. It's kind of like we kind of swarm in from all different directions into one field. And let me mention also that all of our flights are coordinated with VATSIM. As I've mentioned earlier, we are an official partner with VATSIM, and that was a process that we had to go through to get that seal of approval, meaning that we are a. And then picking it up next month from where we left off. So we have the whole world tour mapped. I think we started in Boston, if I'm not mistaken. We're going to go around the globe and come back to Boston. You're looking at probably 2 years to complete that. So that's kind of a long-term flight for those who want to join. But we are looking at modifying some of those flights. Challenge flight happens on the second Saturday of each month and provides kind of a challenge, as the name suggests. Be so in the approach to a destination, maybe difficult terrain, maybe a difficult instrument approach where you really have to study the plate and comply with all the procedures. It could be a place with really bad weather. So that kind of presents a challenge on its own. So those are also once a month. And then 17 Zulu flight, which I think maybe going away, is really for our European members because a lot of our flights take place at 23:59 Zulu, in about 8 p.m. Eastern time, so they're in the evening. It's not very good for our European members, so we came up with this idea of doing a 1700 Zulu flight, and as the name suggests,
that's a good idea.
It's 1700 in Zulu time every third Saturday. So we'll see if we're going to keep that one or not. And then last but not least, Sunday Fun Day. And let me tell you about this flight, JT. This is the flight that put our club on the map. Our host, Andrew, had this idea of doing this more relaxed and really kind of a social flight. We're still on our game as far as ATC and obviously controlling the aircraft and navigating, but it's kind of more of a relaxed flight on Sunday. So that flight takes place every Sunday, and that has also been one of our most popular flights. On average, we have about 25 people flying these flights every night. So imagine it's pretty sizable group of folks flying, and that you'll see us on the network. Our call sign is TPC, the Pilot Club, and you'll see the Congo lines sometimes. And once again,
that's
if
awesome.
we're talking about Thursday fly-in with you guys, it's a fly-in, so you'll see us from all kinds of different directions. Now, the use of our call sign is not mandatory, so some of our members choose to fly maybe with other airline call sign or maybe even N number, if they're flying GA. So, but that's our kind of flight overview, if you would.
If they fly with the Pilot Club call sign, they get points, right?
Yeah. So what we wanted to do in the club to ensure that we have engagement and we have an active club, we came up with this leaderboard system.
That's good.
And it's interesting the way it works. Folks get rewarded basically for being active in the club, and that meaning that if they're flying group flights, if they're chatting in Discord, if they're participating in contests, like our screenshot contest every month, they get points. And then these points they can, number one, it's a leaderboard, so it puts people, it's kind of a friendly competition, right? So it gives folks like, a rating, so to speak, right, in the club, and then people try to, be more active and fly more, and then get more points and get higher on the leaderboard. So that's one aspect of it. And then there are certain perks that folks get also, and those perks are actually real, tangible things, right? We do giveaways, and we have once you reach certain levels, you get certain category like commuter, frequent flyer, and VIP.
Cool.
And for that though, you get certain giveaways that you can enter just for that group, much smaller group than the 1,700 people in the club. Obviously, your chances of winning those giveaways are much better. And those giveaways have been anything from the Alpha Yokes to different airport scenery. We've given away Phoenix A320 aircraft.
Cool.
So, all kinds of cool flight sim stuff. So that's our leaderboard and points system.
That's really cool. I was looking at your website just a minute ago here, and it looks like tomorrow is the 20. Yeah, so TransCon Eastbound on VAT USA is going on. That's supposed to be a pretty big event, I guess, huh?
Yeah, and that's something that we, as an official partner of VATSIM, we try to support. This event is being put on by VAT USA once a year, and this is the TransCon. We're going to go eastbound with a few fields in the middle. So for those who don't have the time to do coast to coast, those folks can certainly do a shorter flight from the coast to about midway point. But we support as many VATSIM and VAT USA events as we possibly can. Our goal is to really get the traffic out there for the controllers, and but not only the traffic, but get the quality traffic, and that's why training our folks is so important. And that also translates into our reputation. We do have a very good, solid reputation on the club, or on the network. I'm sorry, for the club, because we do take the time with our folks to, for those who are less experienced, to educate them, to maybe show, some tips and tricks and resources and answer their questions, so that when they do fly on VATSIM, it is not a poop show. Can I say that on the air? Poop show. It's not a poop show.
What I did want to ask you though is, when we do the Thursday night thing, there's a lot of people there, like we talked about a little while ago, and you guys do a briefing and weather thing and stuff like that, and I love it. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Sure. What we want to do with all our group flights is provide the best experience for our members. Everything kind of that philosophy radiates, throughout the club, and it became pretty apparent early on that we do need a solid pre-flight briefing. We do need a weather briefing. We again strive for maximum realism, and having the right members in those positions on staff. We have about 30 folks who are staff in the club, and they really are the leadership of the club, and they are the driving force behind all these things. Having a briefing before the flight allows, just like in the real world, to anticipate potential issues. I mean, this is aviation, right? So anything's possible. So you want to anticipate things that may take place, and then have a plan in place for that.
Right.
And that includes the weather. Now, we are very lucky to have an actual meteorologist on staff, and that's Evan, and he is just absolutely amazing with the weather briefing. Right? I mean, you've heard him.
I love it.
It really tells you exactly what you need to know. Yeah. Maybe more than a sort of a casual simmer needs, but really, again, going for realism. You would look at the weather along the route. You would look at the weather on departure, obviously, and the arrival. And like yesterday, for example, we were flying the flight, and the conditions were changing, right? We were marginal VFR at one point. We were IFR at one point on arrival. And then I think the weather cleared up. And so he's able to provide that type of briefing in a lot of these group flights. So that adds an extra element for our members to really enjoy the hobby and take it to the next level. It's not, the days of just folks flying on their own, and I mean, and it's fine. I mean, sometimes you want to do that. It's okay, but really having those types of features that we provide, including the departure briefing, really enhances your experience, as a flight sim pilot. And as far as the briefing, we do cover, the arrival airport, the runways, and we look at the ATIS, we look at the METAR, all those types of things that go into, real flight planning. Now, on the website, you know this, but the listeners don't know this. We do list all our flights, and if people go to our dispatch page on the website, you can see the flight, and then you can click on any particular flight and get those extra details that you need. For GA Tuesday, there's a fantastic flight plan briefing that the flight operations team puts together. Trust me, they are putting a lot of effort into this, so that the members have a good experience flying. And
that's obvious,
right? But you fly, and the importance of planning and really kind of thinking about what could happen, and if this happens, I'm going to do this, and if this happens, I'm going to do that. So we try to kind of do those types of things, and we try to make it so that our members really are educated before any group flight that they join, so they don't have to ask, hey, what are we doing? I'm not sure. Well, it's all in the briefing. We do brief it orally, but again, on the website, the briefing, the PDF file is there for them.
I think yesterday we flew into, was it Baton Rouge, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. I flew up from Cancun, and I think when he was given the weather briefing, the weather looked horrible. And I'm like, okay, IFR, going to be a full ILS approach and all that kind of stuff. And as soon as I got there, like you just said, it cleared up pretty good. And that's probably one of the first times since I started flying with you guys that I actually landed without, bouncing.
Yeah.
So.
No, I hear you. We just did Oshkosh on Wednesday, right? And I mean, we support these bigger events like the real world events that we simulate in the sim. And I flew in Oshkosh, and they give you that hairpin short base to final.
Yeah.
And I was flying to Kodiak, and Kodiak certainly did not like the that hairpin. Saved the stall, but I did have a bounced landing. I bounced probably 3 times, but I did land on the green dot as
that's
as they
good.
instructed me on the 3rd bounce.
Now, were you able to video that at all, or no?
I'm sure there's a video somewhere, but I'm not going to share it. It's embarrassing. But these things, these things do happen, and I actually do record my flights, and I look at them later just from a training perspective. What maybe there are things that I could have done better.
Yeah.
But if I was going to mention, would be a good segue, I think, talking about kind of the crossover between the flight sim and the real world. We are sponsoring, or I should say, we've partnered up with Arkansas folks, which, for those who don't know, Arkansas is a very fun and interesting general aviation race, in the Ozarks, um, uh, where they have several runways and it's a timed course that people fly in real life. So we've actually partnered up with them, and unfortunately, that course is very dangerous to fly because of some of those turns. Obviously, it's low altitude and it's timed, so people try to, maybe cut some corners and things. So this year, I think the FAA finally said, "Hey, you guys gotta, make it a little bit safer." So they've redesigned the course and they've reached out to us to help them with the flight sim modeling of the course, and then help with the real world pilots testing the course in the flight sim before the actual real life event. So that, I think, is awesome and neat, to where the pilot club is kind of engaging in some of these functions that have a crossover into the real world. I mean, we do take a lot of information from the real world flying and try to apply that to the flight sim hobby, and that's just another aspect with that. And with Oshkosh, it's probably going to be next. We do sponsor the Oshkosh event on VATSIM, and we've done that, like I said earlier, this week on Wednesday. But I think next year we're probably going to reach out to the organizers of the real world event and see if we can, get into that as well. So
that's a good idea.
I think, yeah, it's well, and what it does for us though, it brings us that real world expertise and experience to regular flight sim members, and they love it, and I love it myself, because we want to make the flight sim hobby as realistic as possible within obviously the limits. You don't want to make it too realistic to where it's not fun,
right?
But at the same time, having those kind of extra things, I think, is what brings a lot of people into the hobby. And again, with the Flight Simulator 2020 coming out, that brought in a lot of less experienced flight sim aviators to the hobby. I feel that it is our duty in the club to really help them out and educate them with those things, and explain to them what they mean, and explain to them how to use how to operate the aircraft, how to navigate, how to talk to ATC and those types of things. Yep. And we have. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, what's the difference between the VATSIM pilot training program and what you guys offer?
VATSIM Academy, I think, is a little bit more formalized. I mean, ours is structured very well, but I think the main difference is you are being taught by fellow members who just happen to be authorized trainers by VATSIM,
I see what you mean.
Right? So it's the folks that you interact with in the club every day. You know them, you've talked to them, they fly group flights with you. So it takes that, it's more friendly kind of environment, I would say. And believe me, VATSIM Academy is also great. And VATSTAR, I mean, there are other training organizations. We are an authorized training organization for VATSIM. We did get that certification, and that was important for us to be able to give out P ratings on VATSIM for these courses. But I think just having that kind of friendly environment and folks that you fly with, essentially, right? So your CFIs are folks that you're just flying a flight with, and that brings that anxiety level down when you're going through courses and you're doing your check rides and training flights with instructors. But as far as the structure, I mean, it's based on the PPL course. It covers the same topics, just to a lesser degree. But both VATSIM Academy, I mean, I recommend to folks, or if they're, like I said, if they want to join the club and try that out, you're going to be pleasantly surprised how, while structured, it's not a very intense and kind of a pressure type situation. It's more relaxed in the sense that you know these folks, and they're there to help you. They're not there to judge you per se. Well, they will judge you, but from the perspective of learning, and they want to see you succeed, and they want to see you do better and learn and become a better flight sim pilot. And actually, I'll mention a couple of things here also in that regard. We do have, like I said, about 80 real-world pilots in the club. Many of our training staff are CFIs, and we also do draw on experience from our other partners, like the Corporate Pilot Dad, for example. Tim has been a friend of the club for a long time.
Yeah, Tim's a good guy.
Great guy. You guys may know him from his YouTube channel, where he's a real world commercial pilot. He's an instructor, and his knowledge in those videos and some of the questions that he answers also helps members in the club. And we have several folks like that bring that additional element to this hobby. Again, I think I've said it so many times in this interview, but it makes a difference.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Okay, well, if you just joined us, folks, we're talking with Serge, the founder of the Pilot Club. Make sure you check them out, the pilotclub.org, an incredible organization, and we're so thankful to be a part of their family, and we're glad that they're a part of ours. So anything you want to finish up with there?
Well, I just wanted to, first of all, thank you for being a friend of the club. Sky Blue Radio has been a fantastic and long-time supporter of the flight sim community. We do partner with organizations that support the hobby, and you guys are certainly one of them. So I do appreciate the opportunity to come out and speak to your listeners about the Pilot Club.
Yeah.
We enjoy flying the flights with you guys.
Even when the nerd's flying?
Well, maybe not when Nerd's flying, because he's got to get those skills up, I got to tell you. But, it is an exciting time, I think, right now to be in the flight sim community, right? We have the Flight Sim 2020 with incredible visuals and incredible study-level aircraft coming out, like the Phoenix and the PMGG. We have X-Plane 12 that is obviously kind of want to catch up with the visuals to be able to step into the future. All of those types of things I think makes this a really exciting time. I remember when I was on FSX, and I know you remember this too, probably on FS 2004, but when it really looked crappy, right? It didn't look good. And nowadays it's so realistic. It's very exciting to be part of this hobby. I am very excited personally to have a club full of members who are so energized about being a part of this community, and that's what really makes it a great place for folks to be. An active club that supports folks who are passionate about aviation. It really makes me happy to be in this hobby. It makes my time spent, in the club worthwhile. And it is a lot of work, obviously, on the admin side and the planning side and strategic things and flying the group flights. I still try to fly as many group flights as I can because I enjoy those interactions with the club members.
Yeah.
Right? Like, it's just, and we share our experiences, and we laugh, and we joke, and we have a lot of good sarcasm going on in the club.
There sure is a lot of that.
Things. Yeah, I mean, you got it, right? It's a closed community. At one point, when we had maybe 20 members back when the club started, I kind of told myself that I'd like to have this club to have a kind of a neighborhood bar kind of feel, where everybody knows your name, right? And I mean, we have 1,700 members, but those who are active are, they've made friendships. They've shared their experiences. They've learned. They've taught. They've done all those types of things, and I'm just happy to bring this type of environment to the flight sim community, and I hope folks take advantage of it. And we are a mature club. We don't have toxic or disruptive members. We have a system to deal with those types of things. As you see with some of the clubs, those types of things pop up. So we kind of take care of that. It's really just folks who are serious about flying and having a good time and having a solid and a good flight sim community. And again, your organization, Sky Blue Radio, is part of this community. You guys have been supporting the flight sim community for a very long time, and that's why we partnered up with you guys, because we think alike about those types of things, and you guys do provide a great service to the community. So thank you for that, and again, thank you for having me on the program. I love sharing about the club, and I hope to talk to you again. We're friends offline with JT anyway, so it's good to talk to you on the air and to share these types of things with your listeners.
Yeah. Well, we're really happy you came out. I wanted to play something for you as we kind of close out. I'll call it Stuck Mike, and so make sure you're turned up over there. And then, thank you very much for being here. Maybe you can come back here in the next couple weeks or something like that. We'd love to have you back. That's Serge from the Pilot Club, folks. Check them out, thepilotclub.org, an incredible organization. So let's leave with this, Serge. Thanks again, buddy.
Thanks, JT. Appreciate it.
A Cessna Caravan.
Okay, looking for that traffic. Scratch some Lima, and it's God damn it. Mother. How the hell did that happen?
Aircraft advisor transmitting on frequency.